The broad, you have to go broad in terms of a topic, but also deep. Okay guys, welcome back. This is Dragosh and I'm back today with another review on this channel where I review stand-up comedy specials, and I also kind of feature some of my original stand-up comedy from time to time. And today, just to get straight into it, I have taken a request from you, the public. And yesterday, Raja requested that I look at Bill Burr, I'm Sorry You Feel That Way. And I was actually thinking of reviewing this for a bit of a time because I've already reviewed Bill Burr, Paper Tiger, and I wanted to kind of compare them. So great that the recommendation came through. Good job on you, Raja. And if you guys have any requests, please do also let them in the comment section. Let me know what you want me to look at. I have received one for Norm Macdonald, which I'm going to look at, and I've received some for Louis C.K. for the other special. So I'm going to look at those in the future as well. And I'm also experimenting with a new filter for this camera, so let's see how that looks. It's pretty blue, isn't it, right? I don't know if it's the appropriate color for stand-up special reviews, but it is what we're getting today. Okay, I actually want to switch up the format a bit. So usually what I do with this, I look at the laughs per minute, the act outs, the characters, the voice modulation, so on and so forth, and I put the numbers later on. But actually what I want to do today is I want to give you the numbers straight up so you guys have an idea of what we're walking into, right? So for this particular special, the laughs per minute are at 5.06 to be exact. And if you don't remember from the last review for Paper Tiger, the review for that one brought the LPMs at 6.4. So 5 to 6.4. So it's pretty interesting. I'm going to take a bit of time to also look at how the other elements kind of changed in the past. So I'm Sorry You Feel That Way is actually Bill Burr's fifth special, filmed in 2014 in Atlanta, and quite different from all the other specials out. It was filmed in black and white. Now this particular special has had a bit that has gone viral to some degree, and this has been the helicopter bit, which is quite intense. But if you do not want to hear me talk about my opinions about the special, what you can do is you can jump to the numbers where I can look at them over here. With that having been said, also hit that subscribe and like button to help a brother out. I'm actually quite excited. Comedy shows I've restarted in Berlin, and we're doing one this week, and hopefully you're gonna get to see more material from my side. But until then, let us talk about Bill Burr, I'm Sorry You Feel That Way. Look, this particular special starts off a bit slow, and the first 10 minutes are not that engaging. However, what happens in the first 10 minutes, Bill starts talking about what we all know now as cancel culture. So this is 2014, remember, and back in 2014 we had the guys like Duck Dynasty dude, football team owner, or like basketball team owner, who was being somewhat racist. So he kind of starts talking about that and how the expectations of society are a bit stupid because these people have developed and grown in different time frames and have kind of been living outside of modern society and what's been happening. So he addresses that there. One thing I really liked about this particular special, I think it was a bit more, it was raw. It was something that I think would not be as present in today's stand-up culture. He goes a bit more heavier on the topics. He has a lot more swearing. He has a lot more controversial analogies and so on and so forth. And I think as opposed to Paper Tiger, I remember watching Paper Tiger not too long ago, one of the different things about Paper Tiger is he uses his face muscles a lot more in this particular show. There's a lot more act outs and Bill Burr in this particular special feels more animated. That is what I felt from the show, right? However, that comes 1/3 of the special in is when the energy starts picking up for Bill Burr. I actually thought this particular special had more act outs and more voice modulations than Paper Tiger. However, upon looking at the numbers, actually Paper Tiger has a lot more act outs and a lot more use of voices than this particular special. So I thought to myself, what the fuck's happening? Why am I getting this particular impression? And I think the big difference here is that Paper Tiger is more compact. Paper Tiger has 410 laughs in 64 minutes, whereas this particular special has 405 in the span of 81, right? So it's a big difference. I think the big kind of difference from Bill Burr 2014 and Bill Burr 2020 is that he's compacted it more, he's gotten straight to the punchline, and yeah, he's gotten a lot better at compressing the material. And it also shows in the actual laughs per minute that are kind of taken out of this particular situation. Now I think the human mind kind of tends to romanticize different kind of specials. The older they are, the more you kind of elevate them in your mind. And I particularly thought that this particular special was probably his best. However, looking at the numbers now, I do think Bill Burr's Paper Tiger is actually above this one in terms of fineness, technicality, and you can see like the progression of Bill Burr in terms of comedianness, right? The reason why I think this particular special kind of stays in your mind once you watch it is it has a lot more elements of shock. To give you a couple examples, he has a couple of stories from the helicopter story is a really good story. He has a story from his childhood, his dad. He has a story about adopting the child soldier as his kid and the kid from the sweatshop. And I just think people, again, this is, if you were to kind of look at this special, the reality of it is slightly darker than Paper Tiger, and it appeals may I say, I think this particular special appeals more to his core audience. I think in 2014, Bill Burr was big, but he was not globally big. And you can see this from the first 10 minutes because he talks about all these celebrities and you know, personalities from the US, which I do not identify with, know much about, or even fucking care, right? Like, I don't watch Duck Dynasty, I don't know who the Clippers are, and so on and so forth. And this particular show was filmed in Atlanta, and I think what happened with Paper Tiger, this was filmed in London, right? So I think the situation here is, as Bill Burr progresses through his career from 2014 to 2020, he starts moving away from creating content only for his core audience, which I think at that point, I believe, was mostly American male dominated, and he starts creating content for more of a global audience, right? And what I've particularly done is I've actually put together the topics in Paper Tiger and I'm Sorry You Feel That Way to kind of compare what he discusses. The other big difference between Paper Tiger, I'm Sorry You Feel That Way, is the fact that, again, compression is there. What happens in Paper Tiger, Bill Burr uses less topics to discuss, right? He talks about 10 topics overall, overarching topic identified, whereas in this particular one, it's about 17, right? Obviously, there's more minutes, but 17 topics. And the length of coverage for the topics, in Paper Tiger, he spends about 6.4 minutes on a topic, whereas in this one, he spends about 4.7 on a topic, right? I think the secret of why Paper Tiger has more laughter, more laughs per minute than this particular special is momentum. You know, topics are longer and you get to roll the laughter more and more and more based on the topic. All right, so and I think the topics are also a bit more broader with regards to Paper Tiger. Now let's look at the topics in this particular special. So we have 85% people need to die, the redundancy of going after people that you have an impression, you should know that they are racist because of their age. Duck Dynasty talks about religion, and also this particular topic is religion is quite, a lot of people talk very positively of topics that they can relate to, right? And religion is one that is an overarching topic. Talks about us becoming weaker as a species, stop hugging your kids. He goes into the helicopter story, getting a gun, relationship dynamics, and movie sex versus real life sex. Whereas in Paper Tiger, he talks about cancel culture and women in general, Michelle Obama, women like it rough, getting sexually harassed, the origin of his anger, fighting with his wife over Elvis, robots and blow-up dolls, becoming a father, getting rid of his dog. I think, yeah, the trick of Paper Tiger is he goes more broader in topics that can be easily understood by a global audience, and he goes deeper. He goes broader and deeper to make it more relatable, whereas I think in this particular special he still kind of skims the surface, goes deep in a couple of topics like the religion one, but with the rest of them tends to be more story oriented, more superficial kind of. One of the learnings that we can take out of I'm Sorry You Feel That Way versus Paper Tiger is that you have to go broad in terms of a topic, but also deep. Broad in terms of appeal of the topic and difficulty of understanding, and then go deep, explore, dig as much as you can out of it. So you have to sit on a topic and just make it dig. Once you hit a topic that is gold, just fucking mine all of it like it's oil, right? Also, I think one of the reasons why people maybe refer to this again quite as one of his best specials is because this is really where you get to see angry Bill Burr. The anger is really kind of pulsating. And actually, one thing that I noticed after watching the special, like I felt like I walked away a bit more negative. I feel like I walked away a bit more angrier. Whereas with Paper Tiger, you don't really have that because you see a more subdued Bill Burr. He talks about his daughter, his family. It feels a bit less agitated. So I feel like, this particular special, I'm Sorry You Feel That Way versus Paper Tiger, is a different kind of emotion and mindset that you kind of foresee. And the reality is people, I think, like to feed off negative emotion. There's a lot of negative emotion in this one. Okay, I might be just rambling off, but those are my thoughts on this particular two specials. I'm going to go into a bit more detail looking at exact numbers per special so you can kind of see in the next couple of minutes. But onwards we go to the numbers. Thank you very much for watching so far. Please subscribe, drop a like, and let us go on to the numbers. Okay, so I've highlighted the two specials that we're going to be looking at, Paper Tiger and also I'm Sorry You Feel That Way, also in the context of some of the other specials that I've looked at. So let us take it side by side, right? Okay, so this particular special, 405 versus 410, similar cadence as you can see in terms of laughs per minute. I think he does want to, I don't know if he consciously does that, but I think he has like an internal filter of how funny this show needs to be or where does the laughter end, right? So you can see very similar. In terms of LPMs, big difference with regards to Paper Tiger, it's a 6.4, whereas for this one it's 506. And again, the confirms the fact that the longer the show is, the less LPMs, right? We got 80 versus 64 minutes, 4.7 versus 6.4 in terms of time per topic, 17 versus 10. And see, this is the big difference that I've kind of want to see here. So let us look at this. With regards to topics, again, decrease in topics, and in regards to act outs, increase in act outs for a smaller time frame, right? 27% versus 23%. Then we have voice modulation, increase in voice modulation as well. We have 112 to 136. Okay, I actually made a mistake there. I corrected it. Increase in terms of voice modulation, 27% to 33%. So he doubles down on act outs, he doubles down on voice modulations, and he compresses it in the amount of time, right, to get more laughs per minute. And with regards to character perspective, actually has more characters in the 80-minute special. Sorry, Feel That Way than in Paper Tiger. I did not count the claps in Paper Tiger, but as you can see, only 8 for this one. So very interesting numbers, you know, basically more refined, getting a bit better at it, growth. It's also the 6 years apart, so he's had a lot more time to kind of, I guess, hone the craft. In 6 years, you can do a lot. Okay, let's look at the pulse of the show. You can see the pulse of the show. The show starts off really strong. The show starts off, you know, relatively okay and gets really kind of picks up at minute 13, right? Minute 13 being the white, basically expectations of people that are already white, and this Clippers owner, what time did he grow up in, right? And then goes on relatively high spikes, you know, good moments of laughter. We have another one that goes up to 8, which is at minute 36. Minute 36 is we become weaker as a species, his fear of the flight, and basically judging the guy that had made weird squeals on the flight. All right, let's look at the distribution of the heartbeat of the show versus the act outs and so on and so forth. So I see characters, a very good presence here. Characters and voice modulation seem to be the bread and butter of this particular show. And all right, let's look at this is LPM comparisons between Paper Tiger and the current one. So as you can see, similar type of flow for the entire show. Very consistent in terms of LPMs throughout the show. And yes, similar kind of heartbeats as you can see, right? Bill Burr, but it just went one layer above Paper Tiger. So if you were to look at this particular graph, maybe you might think that Paper Tiger is funnier, but that is subjective. Okay, and comparing to other comedians, let us see how that kind of comes in. We've got Jim Jeffries here. I'm sorry, Feel That Way is over here. And I've also added basically Tom Segura, Louis C.K., and Paper Tiger is here. So as you can see, with this particular one in 2014, Bill Burr was at the level of most of the other comedians, I guess, in terms of LPMs. Very consistent, which is, see, this is the 4 and 6 is really the mid, it's like the average for a lot of these kind of specials, with this higher concentration towards 5 as the show progresses. Taylor Tomilson, Bill Burr, Paper Tiger, Jim Gaffigan, gonna get another one comparison. See, Ali Wong comes in lowest here, but as you can see, a dip by Bill Burr to those levels, and you know, his the previous specials, and Marc, Marron, basically slightly above. Very consistent, interesting to watch. But I guess that's pretty much it. What have we learned from this one? Basically, I think the key lesson to take away from this particular comparison, so of like, you know, Bill Burr 2014 versus Bill Burr 2020, is spend a lot more on topics. Spend 6-5 minutes on topic, on a particular topic, and try to really dig out everything that's funny about that. Because with more laughs come with momentum, I guess, right? So try to compress as much in 6 minutes. Spend longer periods of time on a topic, and compress everything you can. Act outs, voice modulations, drill it as much as you can to get the comedy. And I think the big thing here is momentum. The more you get people laughing about a topic, the more you will extract out of them. Thanks a lot for watching once again. I hope you guys enjoyed it. The new filter as well. If this is annoying, please let me know. I will change it. But appreciate you guys watching it, and see you guys in the next one. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and also the graphs are at the end.